Hi everybody, I'm Al from Healthy Home Cleaning and Restoration, located right here in the Hudson Valley. We specialize in helping people find mold and get it out of their homes and living spaces, because mold can put a hurting on your situation. So today we're going to talk about when to test for mold. Like, wow, how do we know when to test for this mysterious substance that we can't see and sometimes we can't smell? Well, it's a very good idea after a flood or a leak or a sewage backup in your home to have sampling done. If the basement is damp, it could be a good idea to take a look at what's going on in there and see if it has created a mold situation that's migrated into your living space. When mold is visible on your ceiling, your wall, your floor, your belongings, it's a good idea to see if that mold has migrated into other parts of the living space or if it's located just in one area. If an ice dam has occurred on your roof, that can cause water to back up into the attic and create a mold situation. Anytime there's a foul or musty odor in a basement or someplace in the home, and everybody knows what that's about, it's a good idea to take a look at what's going on there. If people or pets are experiencing allergy symptoms, it's a good idea to take a look at that as well. Also, when you're buying or selling a home, these days it's critical to know that your home that you're buying or selling is mold-free. You don't want the liability, you don't want the headache that goes with that. So how do we test for mold? How do we find out what's going on? What I'm holding in my hand here, and perhaps you can see this is called an aerosol. And what this does is it has a slide in there with a special adhesive on it, and we take a measured amount of air and we hook it up to a hose that looks like this, that's connected to a vacuum pump, and it pulls a measured amount of air through this opening here, and then the air collides with the slide, and any airborne particulates adhere to that slide. We take a measured amount of air and we send it off to our laboratory for analysis. Then we do the same thing outside, and we see what's going on there. And then we get a report that shows us the difference between what's going on outside and what's going on inside. We compare those two reports, and if the inside mold counts are much higher than what's going on outside, then we have a mold issue and we need to look deep to find out what's going on with it. Okay, so the next way that we take samples for mold is like you see mold that's on a surface or what you think is mold. Now, it's not uncommon for us to go into an attic, see some black kind of discoloration there. Every fiber of your being says, hey, that's mold. But we've tested it in the past and had it come back negative. It's very not so rare as you might think. So what I have here is called biotape on a slide. And what we do is we remove this piece of material here. We put this directly onto the surface of the mold. We actually gather up, or what appears to be mold, we gather up the spores or whatever material is there, and then it's sent to a laboratory for analysis. Then the final way that we find tests for mold is we use what's called a swab, and it looks like this, and there's a solution in here that keeps everything as a preservative. We open this up, we take this Q-tip and we swab the surface, put it back in here, and then we send it to our laboratory for analysis. And that's the third way that we find mold. We're also able to test for mold inside a cavity, which is something that's important to do sometimes. And when we're done, we provide you with a report and an analysis on what's happening inside your home and where you need to think about mold remediation. When these samples go into the laboratory, they're analyzed, and they're analyzed for quantitative counts of mold, and we're able to get a real good picture of what's going on with the mold situation inside your home. When that report comes back, we can analyze it together and figure out what's going on. So listen, thanks for listening to my video. I really appreciate it. And if we can help you, please give us a call.